Well, hello, everyone. This is Wilson Cole, president of Adams, Evans, and Ross, and Backdoor Hiring Solutions, and managing director of ELOC Global. I am joined by my lovely daughter and my GC. How are you doing, Sam?
I'm doing good. I'm really amused by Tiffany in the background with her feet up in the air.
You know, I work predominantly from my home office, so I don't have to fight the traffic downtown in Atlanta. And one of the benefits is I have a very happy dog that sleeps on the sofa.
I'm just glad to see our chief marketing officer at work.
She is our chief marketing officer. Hey, today I want to talk about the 5 things that you should never tell your debtor. And we're going to kind of go through this. This is for staffing and for recruiting firms. There's a couple of things that recruiters, if it's on direct hire, are going to be unique to recruiters, and same thing for staffing, but just kind of broaden it away with all 5 aspects. So we're going to go through the top 5 things you should never tell your debtor. Samantha, why don't you start us out with number 5?
Well, that is, don't go in the heat of the moment when they say they're not going to pay you and tell them that you're going to go make them a source, spread, tell everybody on social media what a deadbeat they are.
Empty their parking lot. We're kind of grouping that one together, because even if you don't do it and they're just total miserable people or companies to work with and everybody leaves, you've now laid at your feet a potential lawsuit where they're going to blame you for everything bad that happens.
Right.
So don't tell them that they're going to turn them into a source or you're going to empty their parking lot. You can do it if you don't have a non-solicitation, and that's just my personal opinion. If you're not doing it with ill intent, but certainly don't tell them that you're going to do that. And then Sam, this is your favorite on the refunds. What's number 4?
Don't say, if this candidate doesn't work out, we'll issue a refund, or negotiate some sort of trade or credit or things like that. If you want to do a replacement, that's one thing. But when you start getting into refunds and credits, we'll do credits on, with helping clients work out issues where they issue credits to their clients. But it's got to be structured properly, or it turns into a forensic accounting nightmare.
I agree with you. And the flip side of it is you have to kind of have rules, because, okay, if we can't find somebody, then we'll issue you a refund. Well, if you send 5 wonderful, competent people and they choose not to take them, then you have to give them a refund and you just work twice as hard. What we typically do whenever we talk about with structure is we'll say, hey, our client will send you over 3 qualified people that meet these specific qualifications. That way it's not arbitrary. So don't tell them that you're going to give them a refund. Refunds are a bad word in a multitude of ways. So you don't want to do that. Number 3, it's not really what they say, it's what they did. Don't write void all over your contract and email it to them. Once you write void all over your contract, you are negating any safeguard. So technically, anybody that you have presented, anybody has worked there as a temp, they now have carte blanche to go ahead and absorb them onto their payroll. So don't put void. Also, the one that we just recently ran into, and Samantha, you were able to negotiate out a spectacular settlement, and I'm still shocked that you were able to turn money into it. When the opening email over to the company, what exactly did they say again?
It was along the lines of the candidate had told them that they already applied. So in the presentation email, it was, we know that you already have John Smith's resume. So we know that we, the recruiter, cannot take credit. However, we would like to bring them to your attention.
So they send over a presentation and say, this one is free. Now, our client set up interviews and did all this stuff. And then they were shocked when the debtor says, well, you said this one was going to be free. And so don't ever tell somebody, and don't ever say, well, yeah, if we presented them, or because what it wound up was our client didn't realize he had applied 6 months earlier, and it had kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. So don't ever put into writing or on emails or on phone or any communication that this one that you're working for is free, because they may know the candidate may have applied 6 months ago, 3 months ago, but if they're not actively being considered and you represent them, then in our opinion, you're owed a fee. And then the number one that, and I'm an emotional guy, and so I understand how somebody could get to it, but in a fit of frustration, don't ever say, well, if you don't feel like you owe me anything, then don't pay me. Because the second you say don't pay me, that's pretty much you're agreeing that you're waiving anything that they've owed, or that's at least going to be their argument. So number one, basically, you're not going to turn them into, or number 5, you're not going to turn them into a source. Number 2, let's see, number 5 was you're going to turn them into a source. What was number 4 again on that?
Refund.
Yes, you're not going to do a refund. Number 3 was void all over the contract. Number 2 was you don't owe us that you already knew. And number 3 was have an emotional outburst and say something like, well, if you don't feel you owe it, then just don't pay me anything. Those are the things that if you say that, not to say that we're not going to be able to get your funds collected, but you have made it so much more difficult for us to be successful. Samantha, any closing arguments before we wrap up this issue of Monday Morning Meeting?
I think that covers it.
Well, thank you guys. And if there's anything we can help you with, or if you'd like to work a little closer with us, give me a call at 800-452-5287. I'm at extension 6578, or you can email me, Wilson@AER Collections. Thank you.